Before we begin this story, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Tales by Savvy Sam. Your support helps keep these untold stories alive. Now let us continue. The goodbye did not come with drums or celebration. It came quietly, like a heavy breath held too long. At the airport, the air smelled of tears and hope mixed together. Mothers clutched their children tighter than usual. Fathers avoided eye contact because they knew if they looked too long, they might not leave at all. This was not a goodbye for adventure. It was a goodbye for survival. For many, leaving home was not a dream. It was a decision made by empty pockets, unpaid school fees, broken hospitals, and streets filled with potential but no opportunity. People did not leave because they wanted to. They left because staying meant watching their families sink deeper into hardship. Staying meant accepting limits placed by circumstance, not ability. The journey abroad always began with hope. Hope that the sacrifice would be worth it. Hope that the pain of separation would turn into pride one day. Hope that children left behind would grow up with choices their parents never had. But hope alone could not soften the pain of walking away from everything familiar. Home, families tried to be strong. Mothers smiled through tears. Fathers gave the final advice they had repeated 1,000 times. Children waved, not fully understanding that the face disappearing through security doors would soon live inside a phone screen. Promises were made. I will call every day. I will come back soon. This is for all of us. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. Nothing would ever be the same again. The first weeks abroad were the hardest. New cities looked beautiful from the outside, but cold from within. Tall buildings and bright lights could not replace the warmth of home. Language felt strange in the mouth. Food tasted different. Smiles felt distant. Even sleep became difficult, haunted by thoughts of home and fear of failure. Loneliness became a constant companion. After long days, there was no familiar voice in the room, no shared laughter, no one to complain to in the local language. The silence was loud, and it pressed heavily on the heart. Many believed that once abroad, money would come quickly. But reality was cruel. Jobs were hard to find. Qualifications were ignored. Pride was swallowed. Doctors became cleaners. Teachers became warehouse workers. Engineers stood for hours washing dishes. The work was honest, but the weight of unfulfilled potential hurt deeply. Still they endured. Long hours became normal. Double shifts, night shift, weekend shifts. Bodies ached, but complaints were swallowed. Every hour worked meant something more than money. Meant school fees paid back home. It meant medicine for a sick parent. It meant food on the table for siblings. Paydays were not moments of joy. They were moments of calculation. How much to send home? How much to save? How little could one survive on? New clothes were postponed. Social life disappeared. Dreams were placed on hold. Life became a cycle of work, sleep, and sending money across borders. Every dollar sent home carried a story. A story of missed meals. A story of exhaustion. A story of sacrifice. Families back home celebrated the money but rarely saw the cost behind it. They saw results, not the pain. New roofs replaced leaking ones. Children stayed in school. Medical bills were paid. Small businesses were started. The remittances became lifelines, not just for families but for entire communities. One person abroad could support 10 people at home, sometimes more. The pressure was heavy. Failure was not an option. Giving up meant letting everyone down. Technology became the only bridge between worlds. Video calls replaced hugs. Voice notes replaced bedtime stories. Screens became windows into lives slowly drifting apart. Children grew taller between calls. Parents grew older. Funerals were attended through phone cameras. Weddings were watched during work breaks. The pain of absence never fully healed. It only learned to stay quiet. Yet despite everything they kept going. Because this was bigger than them. This was about legacy. About changing the story. About breaking a cycle of poverty that had trapped generations. They believed that if they suffered now, Their children would not have to. But no one talked about the invisible scars. The stress that never slept. The anxiety of job insecurity. The fear of illness in a foreign land. The loneliness that crept in during quiet nights. Many smiled on calls while silently breaking inside. Homesickness became a constant ache. The smell of familiar food. The sound of local music. The jokes only home people understood. These memories became both comfort and pain. The dream of returning home stayed alive, even when years passed. Some promised themselves, just 5 years. 5 years became 10. 10 became a lifetime. Life moved on without them, yet everything depended on them. This is how the legacy began. Not with glory, not with applause, but with pain, courage, and love strong enough to cross oceans. And this was only the beginning. The dream did not shine the way it was advertised. It was rough, noisy, and unforgiving. For many who left home, reality arrived quickly and without mercy. There was no soft landing, no welcoming committee, just bills, rules, and a system that did not wait for anyone to adjust. Work became life. Days began before sunrise and often ended long after nightfall. Alarm clocks rang while the body still begged for rest. Public buses carried tired faces from different countries, all heading toward the same truth. Survival first, dreams later. Some worked 2 or 3 jobs, switching uniforms in public toilets, grabbing meals on the move, living on caffeine and determination. The jobs were rarely easy. Warehouses demanded speed and strength. Farms demanded endurance under harsh weather. Construction sites demanded risk. Care jobs demanded emotional strength. Restaurants demanded standing for hours without rest. Many endured insults, unfair treatment, and silent discrimination but spoke little. Complaints could cost jobs. Jobs meant remittances. Remittances meant hope back home. So they endured. Wages were lower than expected. Expenses were higher than imagined. Rent swallowed paychecks. Transportation drained savings. Taxes confused and intimidated. Some shared small rooms with strangers just to survive. Privacy became a luxury. Comfort became optional. Every decision was weighed against one question. Will this help my people back home? Shoes were worn until the soles peeled. Clothes were bought secondhand. Medical care was delayed. Rest was postponed. Social life disappeared. Birthdays passed unnoticed. Holidays were just another workday. Life was no longer about living, it was about enduring. Sending money home became sacred. It was done with precision and fear. Exchange rates were monitored like stock markets. Delays caused panic. Failed transfers caused sleepless nights. The moment money landed successfully, relief followed. Brief, fragile relief. Back home, expectations grew. One success created many needs. School fees increased. Relatives appeared. Emergencies multiplied. The migrant became a pillar holding many lives. Saying no felt impossible. Guilt was a powerful chain. Some days the weight felt unbearable. Loneliness deepened during moments meant for joy. Christmas lights sparkled in foreign streets while hearts ached for familiar celebrations. Cultural jokes fell flat. Accents invited mockery. Even laughter felt different. Belonging became something remembered, not experienced. Mental exhaustion crept in quietly. Anxiety became normal. Sleep brought no rest. Worry traveled across time zones. Thoughts raced constantly. Job security, family safety, future plans, legal status. Many suffered in silence, afraid to appear weak. Yet still they pushed forward. Because beyond survival, something greater was happening. The money sent home began to change lives. Children stayed in school instead of working. Parents received medical treatment. Small shops opened. Farms expanded. Hope slowly replaced despair in households thousands of miles away. Entire communities felt the impact. Migrants pooled money together to build wells, schools, and churches. Roads were repaired. Generators were bought. Villages that once stood still began to move forward. The success stories inspired others, creating a cycle of sacrifice and ambition. But the cost remained hidden. While families celebrated progress, migrants aged quickly. Backs weakened, joints stiffened, smiles faded. Dreams were reshaped into responsibilities. The future they were building for others came at the expense of their present. Sometimes, during rare quiet moments, the question returned, "Who am I becoming?" Yet the answer always came the same way: someone who refused to give up. The grind was brutal, but it was purposeful. Every sacrifice was a brick in a future house they might never live in. Every missed moment was an investment in a life they hoped to return to someday. And so they kept going. From the outside, everything looked fine. Money was being sent home. Children were progressing in school. Families spoke proudly of their son or daughter abroad. Success was assumed. Strength was expected. But beneath the surface, something was quietly breaking. The scars were invisible. Chronic stress became a permanent state of being. The body moved, but the mind never rested. Even on days off, worry filled every moment. The fear of losing a job, falling sick, or being unable to send money home followed them everywhere. Rest felt undeserved. Peace felt temporary. Isolation was the deepest wound. Living among millions yet feeling completely alone. Conversations stayed shallow. Trust was limited. Many avoided close friendships because pain had taught them that people came and went. Community existed, but everyone was tired. Everyone was carrying their own burden. Mental health struggles grew in silence. Anxiety attacks were dismissed as weakness. Depression was hidden behind forced smiles. Therapy felt unfamiliar or unaffordable. Cultural pride demanded endurance, not vulnerability. So they survived quietly, breaking slowly. Physical health also suffered. Long hours strained backs, knees, and wrists. Poor sleep weakens the immune system. Fast food replaced proper meals. Doctors were avoided due to cost or fear. Pain became normal. Exhaustion became identity. Homesickness never faded. It evolved. It became a dull ache that lived permanently in the chest. Certain songs triggered tears without warning. Smells brought sudden memories. Dreams were filled with familiar streets and loved faces. The dream of return remained alive but uncertain. Next year, they said. Then years passed. Children grew into adults. Parents aged. Time moved forward without permission. Returning home became complicated. Where was home now? Some who returned struggled to fit in. They were seen as outsiders. Expectations were heavy. Everyone assumed wealth. Few understood the cost. Savings vanished quickly under pressure. Reintegration was painful. Yet others returned successfully, investing skills and money wisely. They built businesses, created jobs, and shared knowledge. Their sacrifices transformed into a lasting impact. These stories became proof that the pain was not in vain. The greatest legacy was not money. It was a mindset. Children raised on sacrifice learned discipline, gratitude, and ambition. They aimed higher. They dreamed bigger. Many broke free from cycles that once trapped their families. The quiet heroes never asked for recognition. They simply carried on. And in their endurance, something extraordinary was built. Time has a way of revealing purpose. What once felt like endless suffering slowly began to shape something meaningful. The sacrifices made in silence started to grow roots, deep and strong, spreading into places the migrants themselves could barely imagine. Back home, the changes were no longer small. They were visible. Concrete replaced mud walls. Children walked to school in uniforms instead of barefoot. Clinics stocked medicine. Small businesses stayed open beyond survival. Education became a family priority, not a distant dream. Remittances were no longer just emergency lifelines. They became investments. Families learned to plan. Parents saved for land. Siblings learned trades. Young people gained access to higher education. A new generation grew up believing that their future could be different. Collective action amplified impact. Migrants from the same towns formed groups abroad. They contributed monthly to community projects. Schools were built. Boreholes provided clean water. Solar lights replaced darkness. These contributions stitched pride back into communities once forgotten. The narrative began to shift. Migration was no longer just an escape. It became a strategy. Sacrifice became seed. For the migrants themselves, growth also occurred. Skills were gained. Perspectives expanded. Resilience hardened into wisdom. Many learned financial discipline, leadership, and adaptability. Pain had taught them lessons comfort never could. Yet the longing for home never disappeared. It softened, matured, and waited patiently. Return plans became more intentional. Some prepared businesses. Others saved quietly. A few returned permanently, determined to rebuild what they once left behind. Returning was not easy. Expectations were heavy. Everyone assumed abundance. Boundaries were tested. But those who planned carefully succeeded. They employed others. They mentored youth. They shared knowledge that money alone could not buy. Their presence inspired hope. They proved that sacrifice could turn into sustainability. That leaving did not mean abandoning. That distance did not erase responsibility. Most importantly, the cycle began to break. Children raised through sacrifice no longer need to leave blindly. Opportunities existed at home. Choices replaced desperation. Migration became optional, not forced. The legacy was alive. In the end, when the noise fades and the numbers are forgotten, what remains is the truth. Opportunity came with a price that could never be fully measured. Not in dollars, not in houses, not in businesses, but in moments lost, years given, and hearts stretched across continents. The quiet heroes never asked to be called brave. They did what they had to do. They left familiar streets for foreign ones. They traded comfort for responsibility. They carried entire families on tired backs, believing that love was stronger than distance. Their lives became bridges between worlds. One foot in a new land, one heart forever at home. Many will never fully return. Some will go back only to visit. Others will be buried in foreign soil. Yet their impact will live on in classrooms, hospitals, and thriving communities. It will live on in children who dream freely, in families who stand taller, in towns that no longer wait for rescue. The pain mattered. The sacrifice mattered. The legacy is real. And now the question is yours. Do we see them? Do we honor them? Do we understand the cost behind the comfort we enjoy today? Because beyond every bright city and every success story lies a truth worth remembering. Someone paid the price so others could rise. If this story moved you like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe to Tales by Savvy Sam for more powerful stories that give voice to the unseen and honor the sacrifices that shape our world. Tell us in the comments. Have you or someone you love lived this sacrifice? Your story matters.